This community, and when I say community, I don't say that lightly, has changed my entire life.
No one is talking about the more than 7 million small business owners in the United States who are using TikTok Shop as their route to market.
2023 alone, TikTok added more than 200,000 jobs to the U.S. economy and contributed more than $24 billion.
This app saved bookstores, it saved small businesses, it's saved restaurants.
I have no idea how I'm gonna survive. This app was literally supposed to be my way out. So for everyone who's saying, go get a job, I am literally working. I have no more time.
Well, the biggest job layoff in history has just happened. For those that don't know, on Sunday, TikTok has officially been banned in America, and it's actually affecting a lot more people than you might realize. Stay-at-home moms, single dads, small businesses, and even influencers and creators have all had their livelihoods stripped away from them in a blink of an eye. Waking up on your rest and relaxation Sunday, seeing your entire business that you've created completely gone. It's actually pretty insane. So let me know what your thoughts are about this TikTok ban down in the comment section below. Was it good? Was it bad? I'm going to be sharing my opinion on it in a little bit. But with that being said, let's get right into today's episode. Now, before we get into today's episode, I am doing a giveaway for 4 $25 gift cards to Crumble Cookies. I was planning on doing a video on this first, but with everything going on, I decided to make an emergency video, but I am keeping my promise and doing the giveaway starting today. So if you want to join it, it is completely free to enter with the link down in the description below. Now, I know it's a bit late, but this is for hitting 10,000 subscribers on YouTube and now surpassing 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I just want to give a huge thank you to all you that have been supporting me here on the channel. And now lastly, one thing that's been confusing me is that more than 80% of you that watch my videos aren't yet subscribed to the channel. Now, this won't increase your odds from winning the giveaway, but it will let me know that you guys want to see more videos like this, as well as letting me know that you guys like the content that I create. So if you haven't already, definitely make sure to just tap that subscribe button down below. It's completely free to enter and there's no strings attached, and it means a lot to me. Otherwise, let's get right into the video.
About to lose my job on TikTok as an influencer. I just wanted to clarify a few things. My house, I pay $2,000 a month for my house. And then I just bought a 2025 Mercedes SUV. So let's just clarify that, because you guys were wondering like what I meant by that.
Oh boy, this episode's going to get real interesting, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have divided opinions that I would like to hear down in the comment section below. But this TikTok creator says, I have $2,000 in rent and a $1,000 car note for a 2025 Mercedes SUV I just purchased. What WTF am I going to do if TikTok is banned? I'm an influencer. Well, lot to unpack in that here. If you haven't already seen my episode on the car payment insanity episode and why you shouldn't have them, definitely make sure to check it out here. But that is exactly why I say not to have all your eggs in one basket, and why it is extremely important to reduce your expenses so that when shit happens, you're not screwed. And that's why I don't put all my eggs into one basket. I've been a creator and I quit my job back in 2020. I'm full-time on my own, fully self-employed, and have been doing so for several years now. I was on YouTube, I think since 2017, and eventually quitting my full-time job as a marketing manager and going full-time by myself, creating side hustles and jobs. And I think it is so important for people to understand that there's no such thing as job security. Even if you're self-employed, even if you work for somebody, do not have all your eggs in one basket, because just like a Thanos snap, things can drastically change. And I think the reality check that so many people just had on the 19th is real. And don't let that go away. Really realize and think about what just happened, and consider, for everyone, even if you weren't affected by this TikTok ban, doesn't mean you're not going to be affected in some way, shape, or form in the future. And if you're one of the lucky ones and this doesn't affect you, at least learn from this that not all jobs are secure and they can disappear. If that hasn't been proof enough in the past couple of months with the layoffs, or the past couple of years with the layoffs from big corporate jobs, or I've had plenty of friends and family that have been laid off in their careers that they've been in for 10, 15, 20, even 30 years. completely laid off, like they're just a number, not important. It's unbelievable. They had quite a reality check, and I don't want that to happen to you guys. So really put your thinking caps on and listen openly with the information that I'm going to share with you in today's episode.
I have no idea how I'm going to survive. This app was literally supposed to be my way out. So for everyone who's saying, go get a job, go get a job, I am literally working. I have no more time. I work almost every day doing DoorDash, and DoorDash pays $2 a delivery. I Instacart. I have classes Monday through Thursday in person. My next step has always been to go to the polls. So when y'all see me dancing, do not say a damn thing.
I feel it. People are having some serious reality checks with everything that's going on in life right now. And let this be a wake up. Let this be a lesson to not have all your eggs in one basket and to diversify and to save your money and to reduce your expenses, that you can take these blows a lot easier when these surprise things happen, because they do. And it's not just for influencers and creators. You can be anti and hate on all the TikTok influencers or influencers in the world, but it could very easily affect you. And this advice doesn't just apply to them. It also applies to you who might be working at a grocery store, working in IT, working in accounting, working for any sort of job, 9 to 5, it doesn't matter. You can get laid off tomorrow and have no idea that it was coming. You could have 30 years tenure working for a job and they'll just fire you for whatever reason. And you'll see the reality check that they don't care. We are in a totally different world now where job security does not exist. I'll never understand why people cry on social media. I think it is such a load of crock that people film it just to try to pull on your emotion strings to then get more money. Can you imagine me like setting up my camera mid-cry or setting it up because I'm done crying, getting it ready on my tripod, clicking play, adding music, and then getting myself to cry? It's beyond ridiculous. Like, we get it, it's a problem here, but the need to do that is unbelievable here. She writes, I feel like I'm going through heartbreak. This platform is more than an app or a job to me. I have so many memories on here. I posted every day for the past 6 years of my life. I've shared my friends, family, relationships, personal struggles, secrets. I've been able to reach and connect with so many people to the point that when I meet you guys, girls break down crying and about how something I've posted was helpful for them or has helped them. I feel like I've been in denial about this app going away, and it's just really hit me that it's going away. Now, I wasn't directly affected by TikTok. I actually had a TikTok for a couple of years. I still do. I just haven't posted on it. I've been dormant on it for a long time, and I've made quite a decent amount of money. I've made like $600-700 from the app. This is back when you'd make money from posting like less than like a minute reels, maybe like 30-second clips of videos, and I was making money directly from the TikTok app, like the creator fund, which is super cool. I mean, just in a couple months in college doing it for fun, I have now over 80,000 followers. And once they started making it into long form content where you needed to post over a minute, I just said I'm done with it. But I had quite the scare on Sunday. And not so much in the reason you believe, but I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the videos that I make here on the channel are from TikToks that I find create a video and then make the videos for you guys. And if the platform went away, it'd be that much more difficult to create content. Obviously, I'd have to shift and I'd have to work with it to keep up, but I'd have to look at content on Facebook, IG, other places. It's not the same, but I'd make it work. I even was at the point where I was considering, making a Canadian I had a Canadian VPN. I was logging in and creating a Canadian TikTok just so I had access to other content to create videos for you guys. It wasn't like the worst thing that has happened, but it certainly did affect me, and I was getting a little worried with everything that was going on.
The Supreme Court just upheld the ban on TikTok, and here's something that nobody is talking about that I would like to share with you. There is 3 branches of the United States federal government: legislative, executive, and judicial. The TikTok ban went almost unanimously through the legislative branch, which is Congress and the Senate. Then it skated right on over to President Biden's desk, executive branch, and he signed it into law. Then the ban went all the way through the court system, all the way up to the highest court in the land of the United States of America, the Supreme Court, and they upheld the ban. Now, I agree. It is damn sad that 7 million people just got laid off. I'm sad for myself, I'm sad for future creators, and I'm sad for the millions of small businesses out there who rely on this app to make a living. But the saddest part of this entire thing is that the United States government just looked its people square in the face, right in the eyeballs, and said, your voice doesn't matter, and it never did. They sell you the American dream. They sell you the freedoms that you think you have, and then they turn around, they strip you from them, and they said there's not a thing that you can do about it. Fascist countries ban apps. And for all the people who are about to hop on here and say, if you don't like it, move, I love this country, and I love the people in it. And that's why I'm fighting so hard to keep this free. In 2 years, vote your ass off. Democracy and the American dream has just fallen. It's up to you and me to take it back.
See, I think people don't realize how many more people this affects than just your cringy California, LA, TikTok bop creator that is just creating brain rot content for doom scrolling. You don't realize how many people this actually affects, like how many small businesses that actually created a living. Or there are so many businesses that were affected. Restaurants, companies, startup companies. You have, cookie startup companies, bakeries. You have, candle making businesses. Just the sheer amount of small businesses, the Etsy stores, all these things that were funneling views and getting the push, the awareness that was offered by the TikTok platform. Their algorithm on TikTok is unlike anything else to constantly see new information, new people, and a new audience all the time. And if this ban goes through, which I believe it is, because it can no longer, even though the app is still there, it can no longer be downloaded from the App Store, it's going to affect a lot of people. You guys might actually be surprised.
Influencers aren't out of touch for crying about the TikTok ban. You're out of touch for not realizing this is a real industry. You're out of touch for not realizing that social media is one of the only female-dominated spaces where women run this shit. Y'all cry about women's rights and women supporting women. Yet women on this app are the first ones crawling to Reddit to complain about their favorite influencers, ripping them apart in their comments, saying they're so excited that they're gonna have to get real jobs now. You want to support women, and yet you're the first ones to discredit all of the work women do. And let's take a step back for a minute. You also don't realize how many people that are invisible behind the scenes that you don't even realize work at TikTok, work on campaigns, work with agencies, work in advertising, that are about to lose their jobs in an already impossible job market. You don't want to see women have autonomy over their schedules, be able to be the breadwinners of their families, have the freedom to leave really bad situations. Normal consumers and normal people in the job market are struggling to find work because we're all getting laid off left and right. I know I was laid off twice. Only 1% of your favorite influencers, ones that you built up only to bring back down, are the ones bringing in those $1 million paychecks. You're okay seeing moms that are able to support their kids, leave toxic environments. You built their confidence up. You rallied for their success, losing everything, because you don't really want to see them succeed.
See, if there was one thing that the pandemic taught us in 2020 is that there is no such thing as job security anymore, and you are not considered an essential business. But here's the thing. I'm going to open up a lot of your eyes to what exactly is going on in this world right now that I don't think that many people know of. The reason so many people, the young people, have problems adjusting to what's going on in this world is because the world is shifting. The job market, the job space, the work market is shifting into the digital revolution. We started off with the agricultural revolution where people didn't really need any skills. There wasn't much going on. You farmed, you had, manual labor. There was no real skill necessity needed there to be efficient. You just had to farm, barter, and trade, and that was it. And we eventually shifted into the Industrial Revolution, where you needed a skill. You were hired off a skill that you were good at, whatever that could have been. That's what you were hired for. And the problem is, our education system is still stuck in the Industrial Revolution, teaching people to be good, obedient workers, employees, 9 to 5. But the problem is we're entering the digital revolution where the new workforce doesn't want that. What they actually want is something called personal branding. You as a whole are the sell. businesses will hire you based off the personal brand that you offer to your audience here. That's what they're after. And there was a great podcast that just came out by the Diary of a CEO that talks about this, that if you haven't already checked out, highly recommend you do.
This community, and when I say community, I don't say that lightly, has changed my entire life.
No one is talking about the more than 7 million small business owners in the United States who are using TikTok Shop as their route to market.
2023 alone, TikTok added more than 200,000 jobs to the U.S. economy and contributed more than $24 billion.
This app saved bookstores.
Yep.
It saved small businesses. It's saved restaurants.
I can tell you as a small business owner, TikTok has been completely life-changing for us.
There's hundreds of thousands of people on here that make a living just off of TikTok.
I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude as I'm going to drop off all of these orders. Y'all's support has truly changed my family's life.
Our first viral video took off and we sold more sweatshirts in 1 week than we had in the entire year and a half prior.
Me being able to quit my 9-to-5 and go full-time with my small business, I have to owe a lot of that to TikTok.
It's been absolutely wild to see how TikTok has made our nerdy pottery mug company successful.
I've spent like 5 years on here building up my brand and my TikTok and my small business. This thing has been paying my bills because of you guys. Like, that's insane.
I found the people all across the United States who wanted to buy my product. It was like magic.
What is going to happen to all these small businesses if that goes away overnight?
Creators like, for example, Keith Lee, going and reviewing restaurants and changing people's lives.
A pizza shop that was on the verge of closing, literally a week away from closing, is still open to this day. The owner of a woman-owned banana pudding shop in the middle of Texas was on live crying about how she literally couldn't pay her bills or feed her family. She just opened a second location, and nothing or nobody is going to stop me from doing that.
I mean, it's incredible. And like I said, this goes so much further than a lot of people realize here. And aside from the data leaks, stealing your data, yada, 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 I don't know if you guys realize that's already been happening. I understand that. Let's put it aside. I get that they probably are, but it's nothing new, at least from my side here. I can't have my phone anywhere near me if I don't want to see ads pop up of whatever conversation I just had with my girlfriend or a friend. It's unbelievable. They've been spying and stealing our data and selling it for I don't know how many years now, and all of a sudden now it becomes a problem. But setting that aside, look at how many small businesses are going to get affected. And I can't imagine if people have all their eggs in one basket. And granted, I'm sure a direct or indirect amount of their money and sales comes from social media, TikTok. And if this goes away, it's going to be very hard to recoup and recover from that. And that's why it's good to lower your expenses and have an emergency fund in case stuff like this happens. But look at it. Keith Lee, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, he's a food reviewer, and he's literally turning businesses that were on the verge of bankrupt into success stories, saving businesses, real businesses. So to laugh and mock at people, to go get real jobs that social media isn't it. I'm just sorry to say you're out of date. You're out of touch. It's not true. Personal branding in this digital revolution that we're having is what is coming. That is what is here, and it's here to stay, and it's pushing out the Industrial Revolution. Until they start talking about it in school, you're going to get left behind.
TikTok is going dark tomorrow, and I don't know if I'm going to see my almost $800,000 that is on hold. At this point, genuinely praying for some sort of good news. This is obviously super stressful, but fingers crossed, trying to be positive, trying to remain positive. Peace is peace. Peace.
That's actually incredible. I mean, I can't imagine losing your stuff overnight. And I'm just talking about like the influence of promoting your small business. But that dude has 800 grand locked up on hold in TikTok Shop, probably like any of the other companies do. I know Groupon, Amazon, and a lot of these other Shopify. Typically, they hold some of the money for a couple of weeks to make sure refunds, are coming through properly, or if it's not a scam. That's why they put it on hold, just to make sure if you've ever done drop shipping or had a small business online. Typically, they hold the funds. I know Etsy does it too, just to, account for shipping to go through and refunds. And if you're selling a scam or anything, they have your money to pay you back. But if the app just vanishes and you have money left up in that, and we're not even talking about the creator fund, just the TikTok Shop, I don't even know what to do. And that's why I'm worried too. Like, imagine if Google and YouTube went down, how that would affect me. I don't know. It'd be crazy. I don't know what I would do. I mean, I'd have to figure out something else, but I definitely wouldn't call it not a real job. It certainly is a real job.
It's my last chance to reach America before I lose most of my audience. If you haven't seen me before, hi, I'm Courtney. I make whimsical jewelry inspired by nature. Although I'm grateful that this app isn't being taken away from me here in the UK, the TikTok ban really scares me because the US makes up the majority of my audience, and US orders count towards a decent chunk of my income. My posts haven't been doing well recently, and if I fail with this video too, so many people that would love my work may never know that me or my small business exist. I honestly don't know how I'll make a livable income without the support of my amazing US audience. And of course, I'm so sad for the app users and fellow small businesses who, like me, rely on TikTok. Please help this video in any way that you can so a few more people can find something they love, which would also help me so much. To my followers in the US, I still hope this isn't goodbye, but if it is, please know that I appreciate your support more than you'll ever know. So, goodbye for now.
I mean, I was so small-minded in thinking this was only affecting people in America, but this affects so many more people than I had realized here. This affects people in all the other countries that get views off the platform from an American audience, but also an American audience that buys their products are now being affected by this. Wow.
TikTok single-handedly changed my life.
I want to thank you for giving me a platform to share my story on how I live with Parkinson's disease.
It had its entertaining moments. It had its gut-wrenching moments.
I was diagnosed with an incurable illness. Thought it was kind of funny to make light of my situation. But one of you guys took that video very seriously. And that person's name is Savannah. I received Savannah's kidney. It is a sacrifice I will never take for granted.
As a platform,
wow.
TikTok has
It's hard to not get emotional when you hear stuff like that. Literally, somebody got donated a kidney because they put themselves out there, their personal brand. Wow. Wow.
me so much more than other platforms.
Through it all, there was always a video or a creator who would make something. And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one.
Because of the app, I paid off all my debt. And ever since then, I've been living the best life I can ever live.
I'm a 72-year-old woman and 24/7 caretaker for my husband. TikTok is my outlet. It's been a wonderful way to have some kind of connection and community.
No, this will not be replicated anywhere else. What TikTok is doing is 100% unique. And if TikTok goes away, everything that we've built together will also go away.
I've generated some awareness for Parkinson's, for fitness.
Gave me the opportunity to educate millions of women about how to be better with money.
And I'm so glad that this app brought us together.
These are people using their skills, using their creativity, using their labor to help other people, and then thousands, tens of thousands, millions of other people saying, yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing and I want to help.
Thank you, because my life changed thanks to TikTok.
Full-time TikTokers are about to learn a really valuable career lesson. It's a lesson that the rest of us have learned over the last 2 to 3 years, and it's really simple. There is no such thing as a stable job in 2025. It doesn't matter whether you're a full-time content creator, whether you work at a really large Fortune 100 company, or whether or not you work at a startup. There's no such thing as a stable, reliable job in 2025. There's probably a few industries that do better than others, thinking about healthcare, or maybe the government jobs, or maybe something in engineering. But even then, the moment that these companies or organizations figure out a way to cut costs and figure out a way to automate jobs, they will do it. If the last few years have taught us anything at all, it's this. The only person that's going to look out for you is you.
I love that. I learned really early, I'm lucky that I saw the facade in school, in college, that I was being taught the most outdated, mundane things relevant to the Industrial Revolution that just don't apply to the world that we're living in now. And I realized if I want to get ahead, if I want to get ahead of the curve, make money, be wealthy, be financially free, I got to, watch out for my own back and do things because no company is going to be doing this for me. And then I realized with the pandemic that there is no such thing as job security at all. So if there's anything to take away from this video, it's to consider starting a personal brand. It's to consider getting yourself out there, posting your first video. As crazy as that sounds, it's true. And also, do not put all your eggs in one basket because there's no job security. I don't care if you're a content creator, a 9-to-5 employee, a boss, whatever it is. There's no such thing. So always have a plan B, always have fallbacks, start a side hustle. It's as simple as picking up your phone. That's it. Use this. These things are so well made with their cameras. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need all this camera equipment to start. I didn't. And have an emergency fund, pay off all your debts. I mean, I could go on and in depth about how to crack the YouTube algorithm, my thoughts and opinions on whether to make a TikTok or a YouTube or an Instagram, so on and so forth here. And if you guys are interested, I'll happily go into it in another video.
So I'm a full-time TikToker who just signed a lease on a 3-bedroom apartment in Atlanta, Georgia. And now TikTok's going to be banned and all my income's going to be gone the day after my lease starts. So let's talk about what's going to happen and what's going to happen to a lot of creators who are in a similar position. First, before I talk about my lease, did you know that there are over 7 million US businesses on TikTok and they're going to lose over $300 million in revenue immediately after TikTok is gone? These are your neighbors. These are not influencers. These are not people in LA. These are your neighbors trying to start something small. Your friend that sells lashes, your friend that's trying to start a candle company. It's those people. Now, what's going to happen to me? Because also this lease that I live in now is going to overlap with that one. So I'm going to be paying 2 leases for a little bit just because that's the best way it could work out. And the cheapest moving quote I've gotten was $2,200. And I have a 2025 car that I just bought. So like, what am I going to do, right? Well, I'm probably going to lose everything. They're probably going to have to seize my assets. Like they might take the... Girl, please. None of that's going to happen. There's going to be a major shift, likely from what I'm seeing, from TikTok to Meta platforms. And they're already rolling out new monetization programs to help adjust with this and a bunch of TikTok creators that will have to shuffle over there. And yes, that includes people like me and also people like stay-at-home moms, single fathers that are using TikTok as supplemental income.
It is so stupid when people say this. How many times do I have to tell you guys, get it through your thick skull, that you should not be leveraging your future money with guaranteed things today. Do not spend money on things you can't afford with money you don't have to impress people you don't like. It makes no sense. Jobs are not secure as much as you might think that, but getting into a mortgage, I know that's probably the one outlier here that we can stretch because that's 30 years, yada, yada, yada. But to be getting a car payment or credit card debt, thinking that your future money will pay for the guaranteed future monthly debt that you owe is so stupid because then you get smacked in the face with shit like this, or things in life happen. You get unemployed, you get hurt, you get sick, you fall down, you get pregnant. I don't know. And then you can't afford the guaranteed payments that you made. It's so stupid, and it happens time and time again. Do not get car payments. Nobody thinks about the unforeseeables. The better off you are. I don't get affected when the pandemic happened. I don't get affected when job layoffs happen. I don't get affected by a lot of things because I've created plan A's, plan B's, plan C's, plan D's. I have no debt. I live below my means. Think about it.
Now that TikTok's getting banned, you're going to have to get a real job. Okay, first of all, I came from a real job. I got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree just so I could work for a corporation and quickly realize, wow, I'm nothing but a number. I'm going to beg, plead, and cry for a 1% raise every week. I make $20 an hour, which totals to 2 bi-weekly paychecks of $1,200 each month. The first one went entirely to rent. The second one went to utilities, the school loans that I'm still paying off to this day, and all the other bills that you have as a fucking adult. I quickly looked around and I said, well, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to survive. I looked in the mirror and I said, well, let's face it, Brandon, you need a side hustle. You're not that good looking. You're not really that smart. You can't sing. You can't cook. And you also aren't athletic. You know what you can do? You can fucking talk. So that's what I did. I downloaded this app because I heard people were making money off of it. And I said, how the fuck can people monetize off of a clock app? And I studied this app religiously. I downloaded it in January 2021, way later than everyone else. And I said, I'm going to try to make it on this. From January 2021 to October 2021, I sat on this app and posted 2 videos every single day. I didn't want to. I went to work at 7 a.m. on the bus. I got home at 6 p.m. When I cooked dinner, I said, okay, before I can go and relax, I need to think of 2 videos to make because I need fucking money. And that's what I did for 9 months, and I didn't see a fucking penny. Then I got a brand deal that totaled the exact same paycheck amount that I was getting from the corporation that I was working for. And I said, holy fuck, if I go at this, I could eventually maybe quit my full-time job and then do TikTok full-time and create all of my income off of that. So I went from working a corporate job that I was miserable at, serving the big man that I was miserable doing, to now being able to afford my own apartment and nice things. So what exactly is a real job to you? Because from where I come from, a job is doing a service for someone and getting paid for it. And that's how I make my money. I make advertisements for brands that ask me to make advertisements for them. I'm doing a brand a service when I post for them on my page. That is a job, okay? The same way that a realtor doesn't make money if they don't sell a house is the same way I don't make money if I don't land a brand deal. And how do I land brand deals? By constantly coming up here on this app every single day, creating authentic content, and hoping that I can build a community of engaged followers that support me and will want to listen to me. The fact that we have come to a point in life where we are all so collectively miserable that we look forward to an app being banned that currently employs 2 million people, several people that work for ad agencies, has changed the trajectory of small businesses is really, really sad. And guess what? Let's say that the app is banned, and let's say that I have to go back to a real job, which I know how to work, because unlike your narrowed viewpoint, not every influencer is a Nepo baby. Some of us actually worked hard to get here, even though you don't consider it work. But yeah, let's say the app gets banned. I'll go back to work and get a real job. And guess what? You're still not going to be happy at the end of the day, because if you are the type of person who needs other people to be miserable in order for you to feel comfort in your own misery, that is a disease that unfortunately has no cure. Thank you.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stay away from people like that feed off other people being miserable so that they feel better that they're miserable. You want to avoid those people like the plague. It's crazy. It spreads real bad. But he's got a lot of valid points. And it happened to me when I was working my first full-time job out of college, and I realized I was making the same, if not more money. I was only making a little over $35,000 full-time. Full-time, bear in mind. Sometimes overtime too, that I didn't get paid for. I was making more money doing YouTube at 21 years old than I was from my full-time job. I realized something's got to give here. Opportunity cost. I'd be making more money focusing on YouTube and other sources of income, other sources of revenue than this full-time job that's taking up all the time in my day. So I reduced it to part-time and continued to work on YouTube. I realized, the reduction in hours at my full-time job is making me even more money now that I have more time to allocate to YouTube. And I did YouTube and everything else, all the other side gigs full-time. And now I make infinite. The sky's the limit. There's no ceiling capped, and I don't have to beg someone to get a 1 or 3% raise that you'll never get. But I never, again, had all my eggs in one basket. I saved my money. I lowered my debt. I even worked at a smoothie bar for several years after quitting that full-time job, just because I was still afraid to completely cut off having a paycheck. And now, after moving to Florida, I've quit that and I'm full-time with this baby. But guys, if you haven't already, make sure to enter that giveaway for some free stuff down in the description below. And if you like this type of content, then definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. And if you haven't already seen my video on the TikTok influencer spending insanity, the Dougherty dozen, then make sure to check it out right after this. Peace.